Hey guys, welcome back with another replay with links. It's been a while since I uploaded the replay, and well, it's just about time that we do this replay with, of course, another battle from the Apollos tournament. I believe this is one of the semi-final battles between Rising Kings and Carpe Vinum. I believe the attacking team is Carpe Vinum over here, and the defense is by Rising Kings. I have no idea how this battle went. I just know that I was told it is just an insane battle, and that is something I should definitely see. So on the attack we have Athens, Massilia, and Galatia, and defending there are the boys. Then there is Arveni, and I forgot which is the third one. Well, we'll get to see very soon. The battle gets underway really fast, from what I understand. So yeah, just so to remind you, the Apollo tournament has very specific rules. They cannot get artillery inside the city, so they have to use. They usually just bring giant ballista, which is cheaper and more cost effective. You cannot take it inside the settlement, and as well as that, there is a you cannot pike stack, and you cannot put basically you cannot move your siege towers with your ballistas right behind them for some reason. It apparently glitches out the siege towers, makes it move almost twice as much the speed. They're trying to break. Oh, they're really trying to break through this gate. Okay, so it seems the last one is Iceni, the last defending group. There are a couple of level 3 men on the wall, and they're trying to take down the wall, and it seems to be being brought down at a really fast rate. Lots of ballista fire into these levy. Wow, these levy 3 men are really not having a good time. They're already down 20 men. Every time that hits, they're killing a number of people. The walls are also not enjoying it that much. Yeah, this ballista is pretty much gone without having fired a single shot. This ballista is still okay and will be absolutely fine. Now the walls are being slowly taken down. They're falling to the non-stop barrage of artillery fire. They're aiming really well. As you can see, manual aiming does insane amounts of damage. Using fireballs, of course, fire ammunition makes the damage even higher. Ooh, let's see. Okay, that did not seem to do any damage. That's also a very good trick. Yep, there it did. It's a good trick to shoot. It seems those were chosen swordsmen, so that's actually a very good shot. When you fire at walls, if you try and hit the top, your explosive shot or your shot, whatever it is, will jump over. So they did get 3 breaches here, which is very solid. They could get this other wall piece over there. Yep, they're going to try and make a really large breach, so where they can flood in. And there's a little bit of a square over in this side, which will, of course, undoubtedly provide all of the maneuverability needed. Now, I will apologize for the sound on my microphone. I am working on it. It's just I need a couple of days to be able to get a new mic and to sort out the situation. I'm trying to find a decently priced microphone in my area, but this is not currently possible due to, well, frankly, there isn't much option. The only option I found, which was a €120 microphone, which I can't really afford at the moment. So I'll see what I'll manage to find, and I will hopefully have a professional, semi-professional microphone by the end of next week. As we're saying this, the walls are being brought. Wow, all 3 ballistas are shooting at the one part of the wall. It's interesting that they've chosen not to get any tortoises whatsoever, because usually this is very easily done with tortoises. But I can understand why you would want to do it when you cannot bring your siege artillery into the settlement. It just makes it so much easier to. Seems they ran out of ammunition. Did they? Yeah, this one needs one last hit. One last hit. Oh, that missed. That's gonna cost you a lot. I think the artillery, if you hit every single shot, you can take down 2 areas of the wall. That's just about it, though. Yeah, this one needs. Yeah, I would rather. There you go. Yeah, it's the spirit, and take this wall, 4th wall down. Because that's unfortunate. the bombardment phase of this settlement has been intense. Okay, this wall will fall as well, and it is down. And this wall, if they still have ammunition, they might have 1 or 2 shots left, and yeah, they will be able to take this down. That's a really large breach, and it will be quite difficult to hold all of it. They have a number of Briton slingers here, Levy Freeman. Yeah, those were chosen swords that were hit slightly by those shots, and your chosen swords, usually you want them to survive as long as possible. What are these siege towers doing? They're opening themselves to fire from the arrow towers, and that's not that good. The Cretan archers are moving in, and they will have to watch out for those British slingers, because they are weak slingers, slightly better than the base slinger unit, just by 3 damage. Missile damage is they have 6 armor piercing, so it's a very good unit in its own right. And it kind of ends up melting Cretan archers, because as good as they are, they have only 30 armor, so that does make a huge impact on the mortality rate of the archers. It seems the siege towers, which are not necessarily needed anymore other than defense, being pushed to block the arrow towers on the gate, and blocking those will allow for a full frontal assault. We didn't really look at the army compositions of the attackers. Galatia, of course, has Syrian archers, Galatian swords, Galatian legionnaires, a couple of noble horse, no, 1 noble horse just keeping the flank clear, Galatian swords over there, making sure that their flank is covered, some Levy Freemen. A whole horde of Torok swordsmen was hiding in the woods, and Hippias lancers from Massilla, and then they have, of course, the mercenary Gallic hunters and some Celtic warriors up front. And with regards to Egypt, Egypt has Galatian Royal Guard units, some Egyptian infantry. There's Syrian cavalry out here protecting the flank. The general is Carry and Axman, so the Egyptian player went in just a full Torok swordsman spam with some elite units, Grecian archers, but then really skipped out on the general, which can be, be a good idea, or can be a bad idea if they decide to sell you out and snipe your general, because general sniping is so important in this game. Okay, they've blocked part of the arrow tower here, and that's going to reduce the damage taken. Now this gatehouse has oil. It's not normally a good idea to charge in with infantry through a gatehouse as well, but when you have Egyptian infantry, they cost 200 gold. If you get their pila throw, you're pretty much sorted. These Torok swordsmen up here are getting a lot of fire, but these these Celtic warriors are wasting their pilas. Are they? I'm not sure if they're. Yeah, they're wasting their pilas on this siege tower, so that's very useful. Now, chosen swords are very strong. Chosen swordsmen as well, but you can get 1 or 2 archer unit close by and start shooting these Levy Freemen, or else place them in a way that you can shoot at the back. It's very interesting, in my opinion, that they place their elite units in the front. They do have some Celtic bowmen already preparing to support. The slingers are falling back to a flank where they can hopefully get a clean shot at the Cretan archers, but I believe they are just out of range. Yes, they are just absolutely out of range. This is a very well prepared attack. Okay, yeah, shooting into the flanks of these chosen swordsmen. Very good reaction by the defenders, realizing instantly and trying to move them about. But unfortunately, they do not have much option where to move them to, so they are trying to, get the only piece of wall that's left from making this a. Wow, that was a spike in lag. 22 frames per second. That is interesting. That is indeed interesting. It's strange because sometimes it's at 60 frames. With Warhammer, it's at 60 frames, but with this, of course, Rome, it kind of has a tendency of glitching out. That is absolutely fine. These Egyptian infantry being very sneaky. This is a very sneaky way of getting them in. I think they were told to go in through the gates. No, the gates were stopped. Okay. They were told to come here and attack this unit, and they managed to make it through just one little gap surrounding the chosen swordsman, and that chosen sword unit is already at a really really good low. These other chosen sword band, chosen swords are the name of the game for Gallic and Celtic tribes, are engaged here with some Galatian swords, and the Galatian swords are merely a showstopper for their allies to throw their pila, throw their missiles, and these guys are getting pelted, absolutely pelted with ammunition and damaged as much as possible. These Briton slingers were no match for the Cretan archers, unfortunately, and they were pretty much instantly eliminated. The Cretan archers doing insane amounts of damage to the defending faction. Okay, sorry about that. Don't know what happened. Anyway, as we're moving into the first stages of the game, the Levy Freemen over here have got surrounded. The assault on the front of the settlement is going really effectively and really smoothly, honestly. They're breaking through the elite units really fast and they're charging in, doing a lot of damage. Levy Freemen over here getting murdered by the dozen, and it seems that the defense is really struggling to fight, to hold the ranks. But then again, this is a 60-minute game, so it's going to be a very long battle. And this is one of those settlements you can fall back multiple times. Like you can fall back, defend here, you can fall back, defend here and here, and even here. Then you can fall back and defend this square, and these streets. Then you fall back and defend here. Then finally you fall back and defend the last location up there. So it's one of those settlements that is just adds layers and layers and layers. Galatian swords have made their way in, and they're just getting kills with their pila against these relatively expensive units. These Levy Freemen over here getting shot from the flank. Galatian swords charging in and just wrecking damage onto the enemy. Celtic warriors coming in to flank these Levy Freemen. They throw the pila in, and that rear charge is devastating on the defense. They then immediately charge in against the other Celtic warriors, which are counter-charging them. The gate is being neutralized as we speak. I wouldn't charge those Tauric swordsmen in until the gate has been neutralized, because that oil will do damage. And that's what they're exactly doing. This Galatian sword is just making sure these Levy Freemen do not come back, but at the same time they're cleaning up shop over here. These chosen swordsmen did do not a real good number on the attackers. 130 kills is a lot of kills, considering the situation they were in and the amount of ammunition they absorbed. So I must say that even though the attackers did win the first engagement, they wasted a lot of ammo. They burnt a lot of their balance of power trying to break through using ammunition, whereas the defenders still have most of their archers. They did lose a slinger unit over here, but I actually believe that didn't all die, just routed and comes back later on. Now, it seems that, that was a really good shot. It seems there's still ammunition that they were waiting for to use, and they're just using it on the retreating forces. What is the range of those ballistas? Okay, it seems the range is something along here, so this square is going to be under fire. Ooh, that's a lot of broken Levy Freemen that are just routing, just raining the fireballs on the retreating troops, and it's doing a lot of damage to the defense. Mostly morale damage, yes, but it does make a lot of damage. Also makes a disorganized retreat. The Arveni general Oathsworn is over here. Sword followers, everyone is just falling back. Yeah, they're falling back to the inner sanctum almost instantly. Lots of reserves though for the defense. A large number of reserves. These slingers are going to get caught out if they stay here, so they need to fall back. This is a very, very, very silly mistake from the defenders, having this unit over here getting caught out utterly so easily. Yep. And now it's too late, unfortunately. They were rear charged by cavalry and I believe Galatian swords, so this unit of slingers is gonzo. The slinger units are not being used to great effect, and again they are a very difficult unit to use, so one would understand why this would be happening.
Egypt bringing his army in. Galatia still keeping a few troops outside. Some Galatian legionnaires, it seems, are being kept outside. But in the most part, he's bringing all the army inside the settlement. And it's going well. The first 15 minutes of this battle went really well for the defense. Sorry, for the attack. Oh my god. Apologies, guys. My time zone is Central European time, but slowly and surely it's becoming Eastern American standard. I'm just spending like I sleep at 5 a.m. I wake up at noon. Yeah, pretty much. Anyhow, seems they are determined to set up a defense here. There's some veteran riders, which are a very good unit. They should have taken them outside the settlement and harassed the attackers before they started breaking the place. Yeah, again, more slingers being... at least the swordman came up here and is defending them. And it's fighting against Galatian legionnaires. Swordmen should not be able to deal with Galatian legionnaires. In fact, they instantly start running back. And the Britain slingers are trying to get off the walls and get into the fight. Artillery fire into those. Oh, that is a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage that's being done by that artillery. These Galatian swords breaking the first line of swordbands. So usually what happens is the technique is that the sword, your swordband is the first unit outside the settlement, out here, absorbing the ammunition. But it seems they decided to throw away. Well, they did throw them away. 3 units of chosen swords, chosen swordband, to hold the line at the start, which does have its bonuses because they did absorb a lot more ammunition than the swordband. But now the problem is that sword followers, the boys, big boys, are coming in, and they're charging into the fray. Now, sword followers are a very good unit in essence, but really and truly, they are not. They lack that little bit extra arms. They're a good unit to go around with and fight with. They do match up a little bit with thorax swords, but they do miss that little extra health and armor that the thorax swordsmen have. Galatian troops over here, Galatian swords, fighting chosen swords, some swordmen up here. Galatian, it seems that the assault is going well. One wrong shot of that landing into the middle of your own troops there. Oh my god, they're being so lucky. They are being so lucky. But seems the attackers have pretty much finished moving in their troops, and it is just about time. It's unfortunate these ballistas did no damage whatsoever. And I believe that one of them must have brought themselves another form of artillery, because I didn't see the Iceni having any form of artillery inside the settlement, on the walls in the settlement. The assault is intense. Like, it might not seem as it is, but it has been non-stop. Like, they haven't given the defense a chance to regroup at all since they started attacking. And like, once the walls fell, it was a non-stop fight till now. Even if they are only engaging with a couple of units in the front and a unit over here, it's making sure that they keep the pressure until they reorganize themselves. As I was saying, the British slingers did come back. It seems that the Arveni is holding this flank as well, and yep, it seems they're going to hold all the flanks. And I must say, even though the attackers are doing a terrific job, the defenders are also holding their own, and they're really like defending their troops, setting up a proper positioning, making sure that their units are protected as much as possible. They're now charging out with veteran riders, and yeah, this is what they're going to do. They're going to try and clean up these artillery as best as possible. Seems the Egyptian artillery, 150 kills. Greek ballista over there, 86 kills. And these guys are still with some kills, some ammunition left. And that would make sense, because they have, honestly, they could fire into here and snipe the general, who is a heroic noble. And heroic nobles, as we all know, are one of those units that doesn't really die. These Galatian legionaries are getting fired at from the flank.
And as we thought, so the Britons have a ballista Scorpion, which has 93 kills already. That is an insane amount of kills for a Scorpion. It's rarely this effective, and they're getting decent kills into the ranks of the attackers. This ballista is gone. Whoa. Yeah, Massilian Cavalry versus Veteran Riders. Not sure who would win, honestly, because they're pretty much balanced. But he should have destroyed that. He had enough time. Just one charge would have done it. One charge would have been enough. They're moving in more troops over here to trying to block the gap, and now the archer fire is going to come in and is going to wreak havoc here. Thorax swordsman just facing off against the Arvini chosen swords back here, and more Gallic hunters and Celtic bowmen waiting to shoot up. A good position would actually be moving up these chosen swords here and putting your art. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. They're moving swords over there, putting their archers here and firing at an angle on these Celtic warriors, melting them. These slingers have had such a hard time dealing with these Cretan archers, but these Cretan archers are now getting sniped on from the flanks, and they're getting really ripped into from those. Where are they? They're firing from sniper position because they have snipe, of course. Artillery coming into these Celtic bowmen, doing a lot of damage. They're getting some Syrian archer fire into them, and it seems that their move was caught, so now they must retreat, because it was a really, I mean, as good as the move it was, that you get countered by Syrian archers over there. Syrian archers are horrible to deal with, as well with Cretan archers supporting them. This entire unit of Celtic bowmen has been lost without a single shot fired, which is very unfortunate. Syrian archers start trying to find where the ammunition is being fired from. The Scorpion is holding the center pretty much by itself, killing a lot of troops there. The Galatian legionnaires decide to fall back against these chosen swords, and the Galatian swords over there break. These veteran riders are waiting for an opportunity to fight these Massilian Cav, and the problem is there are two of them and there's only one of the veteran horses, and the battle seems to have arrived to a standstill over here. The meat grinder is here. This is the place where the battle will be won or lost. This is a place, because if they lose this point, the defenders, they will have to pull back on everywhere because there's pressure everywhere. If the attackers lose too much fighting against the defenders here, and the defenders decide slowly start pulling back, which they're doing already. They're slowly deciding to start pulling back. They're leaving a unit here to defend, a couple of units just to hold their retreat, and they're pulling back everything slowly. And we must keep in mind this Scorpion is doing damage. What is the stats on this Scorpion? 120 missile damage, pretty much instantly kills 5 or 6 units at a time. Yeah, they're just pulling back. Ooh. How did this sword follower find itself engaged into these chosen swords? They completely got enveloped over here. Successive charges are being placed in, so this is unfortunately they got completely caught out there, and there is nothing they could really do. Some fire from these Britain slingers trying to regain their honor, trying to shoot a little bit into the situation. More Britain slingers are being brought in. Really and truly, there's nothing much either side can do but wait for the outcome of the middle. And the middle, as much as possible, will be decided by the skirmishing fire potential. Like the first one that does a mistake and gets out of position and loses 1 or 2 archers more will be the loser in this battlefield. And this here was a big blunder for the Boyai player, as he ended up losing. As much as a good idea it was, he didn't realize that they were prepared for his move, these Syrian archers, and it has done a lot of damage. Now, as we're saying that, there's possibility for a counter attack from the Arveni once this center breaks, because the Arveni can hold this relatively easy. There, as you can see, there's only 3 different paths that can be taken,
and if the Iceni and the Boyai fall back to this location and this location over here and protect these two, the Arveni, who has not yet engaged most of his troops, would be able to sally out and slam into the flank of these attackers from multiple locations, from this side and from this side. Now, these slingers, unfortunately, are not having a good time. They are, once again being targeted by Cretan archers, but they are managing to return fire slightly. And they're absorbing the ammunition from these Cretan archers, which is very important, as Cretan archers later in the game can prove disastrous in their entirety. Britain slingers on the wall. Once more into the breach, it seems. I must say, though, that these Egyptian infantry, Thorax swordsmen over here, like, the amount of deads, if you look down, is significant, and even if the defenders lost a lot, the attackers have lost a significant amount. I think they lost a couple of Galatian legionnaires, a decent amount of Thorax swordsmen, and the fact that they had to throw in Egyptian infantry from their their reserves, it shows that they are quite tired of fighting here and they don't know what else to do. Now you see these successive charges, rear charges, changing of positions. That's mostly so that you give the opportunity for the rear ones, which are tired, to fight less. So when you're tired, you automatically get some debuffs, and switching around those positions. See, they're just switching around. It just helps a little bit. Also, you get your charge bonus off, and again, it just makes your unit last a little bit longer, killing that one extra unit, perhaps in the entirety of the game, and it just does that little extra oomph. Egypt, it seems, is doing a move up here. Now, if I was Egypt, I would actually get one of my units, run along the walls, break that, attack here while attacking down here at the same time, because you can easily overcome these slingers. Perhaps get a couple of units in their rear and start placing, an assault on the rear of this location. It seems that this is the markets. The textures are a little bit off. When I say a little bit, are very much off. Very much off. Okay. Troops are moving into position and are placing themselves in a way that, the attackers have had enough. They're like, yeah, we need to break through. We are tired of fighting in the middle. We are losing too much. And we should really and truly break through and do some damage. Let's see what they do now. The lull in the battle. I'm very happy to note that there is no, you know how we usually have discussed the 3 stages of the battle, the wall fight, the city fight, and the inner part. Till now, the wall fight and the city part have merged into one. There was a general retreat from the walls over there, but there hasn't been a lull in fighting. Even if it gets slows down, it doesn't really slow down. These Thorax swordsmen have been engaged as well. So they are throwing their pila in and they're trying to damage these sword followers. These guys have chewed through a lot of troops. Seems these Egyptian infantry were like, no, let us go home. Nope, you're going back into fighting. Okay. What are they doing? They're just successively charging into these units repeatedly. It shows very good coordination from the defenders, honestly. And they are bringing it back. The balance of power is now pretty much in their favor. You never want equal balance of power when you're fighting in a city. This defense here has been incredible. The momentum the attackers had has been stopped right here. Keep in mind, the fighting started here. Look how much they pushed them back. They pushed them back enough that now and it's also partially the fault of the attackers for not continuing to put pressure on the defenders in every angle, I guess, at this point, because they have been sitting here for almost 15 minutes just trying to break through this little gap where they gave up fighting over here, and all they needed really is a couple of archer units here couple of archer units on this side, and they would have been able to do a lot more damage. We're just giving that much time on these, the time that was bought by the Iceni and the Boyai player to give a position for the Arveni. It might cost the game for the attackers at this point. I was just praising them, but now I'm realizing it is a bit too long their waits. They've taken their army in, they've reorganized themselves. They just, they got cozy over there. But again, as I was saying, the momentum of the battle. That was a really painful shot over there into those chosen swordsmen. Really, really painful shot. These Torok swordsmen, on the other hand, are really enjoying a little bit of a... Yeah, okay, the Oathsworn over here. Yeah, these Torok swordsmen against the Oathsworn in such a position will never do anything. Get your Galatian Royal Guard up on the wall. Get your Galatian Royal Guard up on the wall and slam into the general unit over there. Get them off the wall here, put them in headhunt mode, and they will do so much damage. Surely these chosen swordmen and sword followers are really racking up the kills, and these Torok swords over here are less. And if we look at the reserves, there are reserves, yes, but they're really lessening, and these are already quite, used up units. Like, these guys are really heavily used, and Massilla just has its missile units left. There's some Levy Freemen over the Galatian Legionnaires. There are like 4 or 5 units of Galatian Legionnaires that weren't used, but apart from that, everything else has engaged in battle at some point. Now over here is really difficult. These guys need to be taken out really quickly. Chosen Swords and Celtic Warriors charging into this group over here. The Torok Swordsmen over here getting entirely annihilated. They're already down to pretty much half health, and they will have to fight the Galatian Royal Guard, but those archers are going to suffer a lot of damage. Syrian archers move in to try and shoot into these Gallic hunters over here and the Levy Freemen, and trying to do as much damage to the missile units of the defenders as much as possible. These Syrian archers, they had just used precision shots, so they're going to be very tired soon. Either that or they put on, let's see, yeah, they use precision shot. So 42 missile damage, let's see, oh my god. Oop. Yeah. How much is their armor penetration? 4 armor per penetration. It's actually not that good. They do a lot of damage, but it's not nearly enough. Yeah, these Torok swordsmen were retreated. The other Torok swords unit is being pushed in. These chosen swordsmen have just used up their battle rhythm, so they will be slightly tired for a little bit. But these guys, the Oathsworn, just lost 5 and killed 43, and they're being replaced by more chosen swords. So that fight is going in favor of... Oh, this is where you need to charge in as well. Charge in this unit. You will be able to break through to charge into the Celtic archers over there, Numingian Bowmen, and that is when the massacre will happen. There's a lot of reserves left, and I'm realizing that it's not going to be that easy for the attackers at all. At this point, the balance of power is shifting always in favor of the defenders, and the attackers have done a fantastic job in the starting of the game, but now they are really losing the...
On my command,
oh well.
unleash destruction!
There you go. Yeah, they're falling into this mess over here, and this blob just... Look at the dead over on this side. Yeah, they thought they could break in, but they didn't manage. Now they're desperate. They're getting really desperate, so they're shooting their Syrian archers in. Now, there would have been a really simple way of doing this. Just pull back your troops, hold a line like this, put your archers on this side, and if they decide to come in, just destroy them. And the same goes for the defenders. Like a nice L shape, archers here, and if they charge in, they die. The Oathsworn over here is now the one fighting, active in the battle. These chosen swords were pulled back because they were struggling a little bit. The Oathsworn are losing a decent amount of troops. Okay, they're fighting Galatian Royal Guard, which have headhunt on, 61 weapon damage and 58 melee attack. At the same time, so the Oath Sworn is the other way around, 68 melee attack and 45 weapon damage. So it is okay. They're tired. They used up their headhunt ability, and they're fighting. Chosen Swords over here are getting slightly overwhelmed by the Thorax Swords and the bunch of troops. Chosen Swords over here having a really fun time just firing into the sides of this blob, and that seems to be most of it. Yeah, the fighting is going on. It's quite intense and it's doing a lot of damage. Outsworn. I seen it should do something. Oh, it seems that the Galatia decided to move in slightly, but ended up losing a number of its troops. Sorry, man. Yeah, exactly. I know. Right in the bum. Right in the bum. Oh, that must have hurt so much, mate. That must have hurt so much. I just realized saying right in the bum that loud on YouTube will one day bite me in the ass. Get it? Because right in the bum, bite me in the ass. Are you giggling? Because you should giggly. We're also childish, but that's the beautiful part of it. We are forever young. No, I'm sounding cringy as fuck, so I'm gonna shut up and interview a Cretan archer. So, mate, wait. There, mate. Okay, wait. Let's ask you. You look like a reasonable guy. So, dude, how do you feel about the Apollo tournament? And how do you feel about being forced to fight in this battle? No comment, huh? Well, you're about to die. Okay, they shoot. Okay, finally they got the angle they wanted, and they're pushing back these guys. These guys have been fighting for non-stop for 15 minutes, and it's quite amazing that they've managed to do so much damage. Finally, some reserves are coming in, and this unit is breaking through. But as we were saying, as much as these guys are, firing in, now they are in a position which they're very vulnerable, and they're getting ripped to shreds. 168 kills though is very good for Cretan Archer in this situation, and Levy Freemen are at least Levy Freemen are supported by Celtic warriors, but this gap over here is very weak. It seems these Chosen Swords over here are losing, so they're being supported a little bit by these Celtics, and it's going well. Outswan over here are trying to do as much damage as possible, but these Galician Royal Guard are just such a formidable unit, and this is the general unit, so you don't want your general to die. Again, perhaps a nice L formation. It just does so much to kill. When you flank a unit, it just does so much. These Thorax Swordsmen are charging in against a Pila throw hail from these Chosen Swords over here, who are getting a few good kills. They got 30 kills off the bat. I think they have one more Pila throw, and they're shooting at that weakened units. They're charging in. They got the counter charge off, and more Chosen Swordsmen coming in to try and plug the breach. These sword followers are ready. They took a moment to breathe, and now they're ready to charge back into the fray. The defense on this side has become severely weakened, but at the same time the attackers are running out of troops. Egypt has pretty much all but engaged every single one of its troops, and the only army that still has a decent amount of reserves is, of course, Galatia, but even then, Galatia is falling really quickly to the assault. Honestly, 3 units of Chosen Swords, 1 to hold here, just block this, and 2 to just charge into the rear of these Celtic warriors and into these Galatian legionnaires, and just, causing a panic while maybe after this place over here starts losing a little bit more. These Cretan archers are out of ammunition. Oh, that was a misclick. Interesting. They did a misclick and charged into here. This over here is falling really fast, and they are being pushed out from under this tower over here. The Outsworn unit has done a lot of damage, but it is now exhausted, staking fire, is being focused down. These Chosen Swords should go into shield formation, prepare to hold. Yeah, they need to start giving up this location, either that or committing more troops in. The Celtic Bowmen need to be firing non-stop into these flanks, and if this Thorax Swords unit falls and they swarm the flanks of Egypt will fall, because it's very easy to kill. Honestly, oh, they put the Thorax Swords up there now.
Honestly, you could snipe his general from this position. Easily snipe his general. Hopefully these chosen sword come back, because 60 chosen sword are really useful. Yeah, they're sniping the Cretan archers. Cretan archer unit over there is breaking, and they've broken through. So they can charge in on this side, and that's going to cause a lot of damage. They did bring, they're trying to, yeah, this Torque Swordsman is being told to come and hold here. But Celtic cultists, ooh, this is why they're losing. Morale. They're not a really good unit, but it is a fun unit to see. We don't see it very often. It's a DLC unit, of course. I believe you get it from Hannibal at the Gates. They're basically people wearing alligator skin. You only get half a unit because they're 80, but they have, one second. They have scare, and that reduces the morale of everyone in the area significantly, mostly because they're wearing those skins. Ooh, they decided to retreat. Why did they decide to retreat? You could have broken through this so easily. I do not understand. Did they lose the middle? Yeah, the middle is under a lot of pressure, I must admit.
And there are insane amounts of pressure. But look, this is what I was talking about. Look the amount of dead over here. Like the volume of that is just absolutely mad. 200 kills on this Britain Scorpion. And that's a very, very good amount of kills.
Honestly, it isn't that expensive even to bring. So it's very useful to have something like that. Maybe some archer fire over here would be useful. These Gallic hunters should be able to hit these areas. The Syrian archers have been kept in check, even though not much. Oh, this Hippeus Lancer is just so open. Oh, the general was so open over there. I wonder why he's keeping his Celtic slingers and Gallic hunters towards the end of the battle. Perhaps for the last defense, but this is pretty much everything that the defenders have that's being committed over here. These chosen swords over here are not in shield formation. They did, however, start pushing back slightly against these. The Galatian Royal Guard are down 59 men, and they did kill a lot, yet they're not as strong as they should be. They're pretty much the equivalent of Oathsworn, slightly better because they're slightly more expensive, and that, you know, that reflects in their price. It seems that Egypt was pushed back from this assault. It lost. What does it have left? Let's see what they have left. They have the Greek ballista crew, 2 Cretan archers, which are, you know, expended, so no more ammunition. They have Norwegian bowmen with a lot of ammunition left, some Cretan archers with some ammunition left. 1 healthy Torque swordsman, a weakened Carian Axman, weakened, 3 Torque swords, and a Galatian Royal Guard, which is severely weakened.
So all in all, it's not that great.
Interesting. Really and truly, the battle could go any place from here. Just the main issue in this situation is, you know, it again, as we were talking earlier, if the center is to collapse, that would be the biggest problem for the defenders if they do not manage to pull back in time. It seems that they are committing their general, the Boyai. I'm not sure why their general wasn't up closer to begin with for morale bonuses, but perhaps it's not the best idea to commit your general. I see you need to fall back. Defending this part of the city is ideal. Like, this is the line you should draw, right? Right. Let's look at it like this. They should draw a line like here, because if you lose the center, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, gaps. But if you just retreat these units, defend here and here, I would leave the veteran riders out in the outside just to put a little bit of pressure in the rear, because it's keeping these 2 Massilian cav up there. But at the same time, if you were to look at it, these chosen swords are really not having a good time. The chosen swords came back from that angle.
There's some more sword followers which are in decent shape up here. A couple of Celtic warriors, Celtic bowmen. So it seems that the attack is. Sorry, the defense still have a little bit left, more than the attackers, because the attackers' armies, as you can see, is just pretty much here, and it is very severely depleted. And this is just like, I cannot even begin to explain. For those of you who've never played Rome, this amount of stress, or never played multiplayer Rome, this is stressful. Like, you know, because it's to and fro. It's like, yeah, 2 units over here just broke. Or are on the verge of breaking. Seems the Thorax swords were stabilized. The chosen swords here over shattered entirely. Celtic warriors are trying to hold the reach, but at this point they're just throwing in chaff. They don't have much left to hold. And these Thorax swordsmen don't seem that they're going to be breaking anytime soon. Norwegian bowmen and Cretan archers over here firing and bullying these Gallic hunters. And doing a decent amount of damage. Well, the thing about it is the defense still has a lot of ammunition fire, and if they fall back to here, and if they decide to just, you know, start falling back slowly and defend here, this would have been such a stronger defense point. Like, personally, when I fight on this map, what we do when I'm on the team 3, what I know is we fall back here, so we do hold here for a while. What we hold there while we're making sure that this side has been evacuated. Then we fall back and defend this side, where we do a little bit of a defense here if the case is possible, because oftentimes there's always an attacker from this side. If that happens, it's okay. We do pull back our troops. We defend this side and this side. And this army wraps around, defends this area over here, which defends the flanks. The other two armies just defend here and here and put some archers up here. And the archers up here just completely nullify any assault possible from the left side, and then our right side would be protected. And the main battle occurs, of course, on the steps of the temple. The sword followers are being pulled back. Once again, more Thorax swordsmen had to be thrown in and into the fray, because the lines of the attackers are breaking once more. And this is what they have left, honestly. Massilla, that's all Massilla has left. And Galatian, okay, they finally broke through. The general retreat has been sounded, and the army is pretty much retreating entirely. You guys have ammunition, you should start retreating. The defense held as long as possible. The Galatian Royal Guard are down to half health, but they did their damage. 174 damage. They need to be targeted down by ammunition, but the Oathsworns are still alive, and they're just, yeah, they're falling back completely. They've done their damage, and now they're happy with it. These chosen swordband are unfortunately not going to make it out of there alive, so they're fighting these Galatian legionnaires. But these Galatian legionnaires are going to take a lot of damage from those arrow towers, and yeah, they're getting flanked. It won't kill them, but it will weaken them enough that make them easier later on to kill. It seems that now the defense made a mistake, in my opinion, because they overstayed their victory over here. Once they were broken on this side, they shouldn't have set up a line here. They should only have held here long enough where they pulled back. And the Scorpion is being pulled back as well. And now it's just a complete, rout once again. The retreat is happening full blast. That Scorpion unit is pretty much gone. Was forgotten, and now it's gone. Well, it might make it its way out. They're trying to come and snipe it, but I think it's too late now. The Iceni player seems a little bit absent-minded with his artillery. His positioning and his map awareness isn't as much as the others. Ooh, some riders over there. Okay, it seems he got his the Iceni player got his riders inside the settlement. At this point, I would just have manually fired as much as possible into them. But then again, it could be a bait to bring them here, and there would be hidden troops ready to ambush. When you notice that you have an artillery cut out, just dismount and run, because having their ammunition still available for you, your army, just does so much in terms of balance of power. Okay, now the attackers have a slight advantage in the balance of power, and again, that means it's balanced again, because again, the defender's advantage is so significant.
As you say.
But as we're saying this, the defenders are once again moving in. This has been a long fight. They're really dragging it down to the wire. I think the defenders are honestly going for a time victory, which is absolutely reasonable, absolutely, you know, like a great idea. It's really hard to pull off because you need to really be good with your timing. And they've really delayed 30. I mean, this fight took 30 minutes. It took 30 minutes for the attackers to break through this, and at the cost of so much. So really and truly, that is a smart thing to do. It seems that the Massilian player is just charging his entire force into one gap, and honestly, if the archers are up here, this is going to be a massacre. Because if he charges in with that blob, and blobs up here, archers on this side would just massacre anything that's available down here. No, the archers did not go there, but ooh. Oh, double face palm. Jesus, that hurt. Yeah, you have an opportunity to use the high ground. Use the high ground always. Or else if you can manage, put your archers up here and just shoot the living bejesus out of them as they're walking by. Yeah, it seems that they didn't manage to get their troops in position fast enough. Now they're just holding the areas, which is absolutely fine. They did notice the cavalry was up here hiding, so they put the Massilian cav here to be able to counter it if it decides to charge forward. Because honestly, if that cav charges into the rear, perhaps where is the general? Sniping the carry and Axman, because it can very much snipe the carry and Axman. Can very much snipe these Gallic hunters, which still have so much ammunition. And these guys can fire from sniping position, meaning that they can fire while hidden and they can pretty much hide anywhere on the map. That would do so much damage. So those veteran riders, if they manage... No! Okay, this is what I'm assuming is going to happen. They're going to move their units like this. Gentle. They could remove these Galatian swords back here, charge, but I would come and snipe the carry and Axman, charge into the Gallic hunters. You have a lot to kill over there, so a little bit of a loopy-loop. And even then, you would just buy yourself some more time because the attackers now are getting desperate. They need to break in as fast as possible, and to capture and win is going to take ages. Because there's still an Oathsworn unit up here. There are two Oathsworn units up there. The Celtic Bowmen are coming up here. It seems almost but a sure victory for the defense. I wonder what the attack is going to do. Because there is almost nothing they can do in this scenario whatsoever. I don't see them being able to do much. The Imperial Lancer is moving in. That's great. But what is he going to do? Apart from morale buffs, it cannot do much. That Celtic warrior unit, which was pretty much almost full health, is being killed. These Breton slingers are still at it. I'm just waiting for that 3-year charge to happen. I'm genuinely just waiting. Even just putting the cavalry here and not charging in, it will be more than enough. They think they realized, maybe one of them was like, dude, can you check where that cavalry went? Can you check if there's something hidden up here? Because that would do so much damage to us. Thorax swordsmen are moving up here. They're attacking every single angle. They're panicking. They have 10 minutes left. And it's going to be quite, an ordeal to break through 2 lines of defense in 10 minutes. It just doesn't happen often. Yeah, that might have been too late though. I think they realize that there's something afoot. They realize they cannot see the cavalry. They're like, wait. What is this? What is happening? Chosen swords are breaking. Sword followers coming in. arrow fire coming in from up here into the side of the Stork Swordsman. So this is pretty much held. This is just a mush pit of units trying to charge in. These Galatian Legionnaires are going to try. They will eventually win, but it will take them forever. Heroic Nobles coming in to support the Chosen Sword Band, and good luck breaking through Heroic Nobles with just Stork Swordsmen. Yeah, this is the target to go for with the Veteran Riders. Charging into that would do so much damage. Charging into that and just keep coming into these Numidian Bowmen, because these guys still have ammunition. And so do these Mercenary Cretan Archers. I really want to see that Cav charge. That Cav charge would make me so happy. Please. Please. Again, I'm not 100% sure, but as far as I was told, Rising Kings are the defenders, and Carpe Vinum are the attackers. So Rising Kings have a reputation of being insanely strong in terms of as a team. So I'm really looking forward to see if that charge happens, because that would it's just so satisfying. But again, it's just wasting time. Keeping that cavalry unit, okay. Words don't come easy to me. Alright, got that. Keeping that cavalry unit up there, keeping the mystery, is making sure that there's a lot of units just screening from it from happening. And that little bit of extra is going to cost a lot. These Gallic Hunters are firing in, they're trying to break through, but they're getting shot by these Celtic Bowmen, and these Celtic Bowmen are getting really good shots into them. Even though they're heavily depleted, they did get a little bit shot to shits there, but no more Gallic Hunters coming in, and you know it's going to be shitfest. These Stork Swordsmen are breaking through, sort of, but there's so much left. There are 3 units of Oathsworn, Heroic Nobles, lots of archers, Chosen Swords. Honestly, unless there's an insane big mass rout, this isn't happening. What's happened here? Galatian Legionnaires, everyone is just having like, hey guys, we're the losers, we died. Ooh. Why are these Galatian swords still here? You need, at this point, it doesn't matter, you just need to commit everything you have. There's no open options whatsoever. Okay, those where are they? Now they were brought back in a safe place, but you don't have a chance for a safe place. You need to be cycle charging your cavalry into the front lines. You need to be this needs to be happening, and these guys might come back because there's a general over here. The Britain Slingers are coming in. Honestly, I would have just given this up and just moved my troops up here. But at the same time, these Levy Freemen are getting demolished. Absolutely demolished. Gallic Hunters are paying off their dues. This is such a comeback for the defenders, considering that they have, they did lose a lot in defending the outsides of the settlement. Such a really good comeback. The general is, oh wow, they moved their Celtic Bowmen here. The general is moving in for the Egyptian player. It's trying to come into a defensible position, but it's lost so much. It's lost so much. That cavalry is really being useful because it has slowed down the approach for so long that it has done insane amounts of damage. Heroic Nobles in the fray, fighting. The general over here getting just a lot of ammunition thrown at it. These poor Celtic bowmen, no armor whatsoever, but getting slaughtered by the Numidians over there. Galatian Legionnaires charging in. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Yeah, the missile battle was lost at the start for the defenders, but now they're really making up for it. And this is what I was saying, like, this is why they should have fallen back, because the defense up here is just absolutely insane. Perhaps there was a time limit on them, and forcing them to stay out, defend outside of the settlement for as long as possible. Because sometimes there are these battle restrictions and rules where you cannot retreat to the city center unless it's the last 15 minutes or the last 20 minutes. And it is absolutely fine if it is the case. But still, just absolutely fantastic game. Beautiful shots over there. I wonder when these guys are coming out. 5 minutes. Honestly, if there's 2 minutes left, the attackers should just concede. Because it takes 2.5 minutes to completely cap and capture the center. No, after you've completely capped to capture the center, and they're not breaking anytime soon. There's no chance that they can break through this. And even if they get up here in 1 minute, because they need to start capping that and clearing that out. This is pretty much, and the sad part is they are winning in terms of balance of power at the moment. It's just that they don't have enough to break through what there is left. There's absolutely nowhere nearly enough, and the damage it's done to them. They don't have the resources they need. Such a fantastic game though, like absolutely insane. As I was saying, this over here was just nuts. Like these two lines over here, oof. This looks as if it has more units from the defenders, whereas this is, even though you see a lot of blue from the Iceni, a lot of Galatians were killed here, a lot of Thorax swords, as you can see the coats in the field. Ah, they are, there they are, they're coming around, they can be seen. The Massilian Cav is coming around to try and find them. I told you they were going to try and do this. And the Massilian Cav is trying to figure out where the hell they are. And the Galatians are coming in from this side. Yeah, the Galatians moved in here, so there's going to be a rear charge in these Cretan archers. And that's going to be absolutely insane. I've never seen this technique where repeated charging used, but it does seem to do really incredible work in general. Gallic hunters over there. Where are they coming from? Yep, they're coming from here. You can see that they're over here right now. That gave them away. That gave them away, and these mercenary cavalry are just going. Mercenary cavalry are going to recognize them. Yep, and they're getting there. Ooh, it's just a game of cat and mouse, and unfortunately we didn't get to see the beautiful charge. There was a small gap for them to do it when the Massilian Cav was really forward, but now it is what it is. These guys, did they run out of ammo? They have not yet run out of ammunition. But the Carrion Axman is really weak. Oh, they're shooting into the rear. Okay, that's a good smart technique. Where the heroic veteran riders are fighting. They're winning slightly against one unit of the Massilian Cav, but another one is coming in, and they will eventually lose. But that just means a little bit more distractions. 2.5 minutes, and it is game. The defense has won the game, unless, again, I'm calling it game, unless of course they lose everything. But I do not see them losing. Their noble, heroic nobles here who are still fighting at decent health. I believe there's an Oathsworn unit. There's another Oathsworn unit here, 80 left, and 2 Oathsworn units on this side against the Galatian legionnaires. I do not see how they can be broken and defeated in this remainder of the battle. So I am simply going to, one second, I'm going to put it in a position which is this, and if they win, well, we shall see. Just fast forwarding the last 2 minutes, they went for a time victory, and I must say it was an impressive defense. They didn't aim to kill the attackers, they just aimed to defend for as long as possible and win by holding out till the last second. Such an incredible fight. Honestly, this is the semi-finals of the Apollo tournament, so you'd expect something of this scale and caliber to be present. I must say also the attackers did do a really horrifically good job. Just amazing assault. They did do some mistakes. Perhaps the Egyptian player should have started his assault earlier, and the Galatian player should have assaulted the Iceni player, and that would have possibly, helped to break them faster. And the defense has won. Whew. Costly enemy victory. That is amazing. Let's see the let's see the damage. Agent Panda, know the guy, really cool guy. So seeing that's disclaimable has sent in the replay. Fantastic. So let's see. Galatia, just overall, just amazing. His Syrian archer is just doing so much damage. Zogis as well, just his Thorax swordsman and his Celtics, and these guys towards the end were ripping through everything. The cavalry did some damage there as well. Agent Panda, just the best in his team. Egypt, again, he did insane damage. His archers were just fantastic. His Galatian Royal Guard, 250 kills, just mad. His Thorax swords, almost all of them over 100. Just insane. Like, he couldn't have done much more. Like, when I say that he should have perhaps attacked earlier, I can't say I wasn't in the fight, so it's just, you know, it's just casters, like, suggestions, like, you know, like, after seeing the fight, suggesting what could have been done better, but not necessarily could have been better. Fight Me, I've actually played against Fight Me, really fun guy to play with. I just, look at his army. Look at his army, it's just, every single one of them is pretty much spent, but he just had enough left. Pepesian, I don't know how to pronounce this, just Addicted. Also really good, like, again, every single one of their units just performed so well. Mechanic 007, fantastic. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this. This was just an absolutely banger of a game. Honestly, an amazing fight. I hope you guys enjoy it, and if you did enjoy it, and you do enjoy stuff that comes from this channel, please just subscribe. I upload daily content. I almost live stream every day, except when I have, you know, real live stuff happening. And yeah, just tell me what you want to see. I've been trying to do the day campaign. I've been trying to do 1212 AD. I'm currently doing a showcase on Grom's campaign from Warhammer 2. You know, just whatever you guys ask, I'll try to, you know, as well as something that I enjoy doing, because it has to be something I enjoy doing, otherwise there's no point. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care and goodbye.